2005 GMC Envoy or Chevy Trailblazer with a 4.2 liter 6-cylinder, straight six. Power steering lines, there's 3 of them. 2 of them go directly right onto the power steering rack, and those are the hard ones to do. But anyway, they're all rusted out, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace them. I got it kind of started already, so I can get to know what's going on. First you want to do is raise the hood up pretty high so you can get in under access underneath there. And you're going to need to jack it up also, so beware of that. So first thing you need to do is disconnect the battery, remove the battery. The battery has a crossbar that goes over it, 2 10s and a 10 nut going onto the side of the battery tray. Then you want to remove the battery tray. I remove it because it's in the way a little bit and cut your hand on the sharp edges. And it's got 6 bolts holding this sucker in there. There's 2 13s there, 1 13 there on the side, and there's 5 of them, sorry, and 2 in the front. So remove them, you pull the whole thing up, get it out of the way. Next, you want to get a 7mm. Remove this harness off the computer, PCM. The back one, remove it, unplug it, undo the little fasteners if it's got it, pull it up out of the way. And then you want to undo your ground wire right here, just 10, and then you got the 7 that goes right here for the battery fuse panel. Undo all your little clips here, clip there, clip here, remove that one. And there's 2 more down below, remove them off the frame. Now you can lift this whole harness up, place it up out of the way. And also you want to be able to lift up as much of this as you can. So little clips here and a clip there. And don't forget that one, just so you can get them up out of the way so you can fish the lines underneath them, okay? And they're pretty long, so to make it easier, just coming apart, I cut them right there with a die grinder. You can do it with a chisel also. Make sure you mark that the outside one to the tire is the return, and the inside one is the pressure line. And then you come down below here, there's a 10 that goes onto that bracket right there, and then another 10 that goes right here. I bent it a little bit so I can get it onto that 10 without having to go underneath. And then I went over here and I cut the 2 lines down here. 1, 2, cut them. And I want to remove that whole piece out of there. And right here is another hold down. It's got this big thing going over them, holding them down to the frame. That's down there. Screws down there onto the side, and then this goes over it. So it looks like that. You want to remove them also. Now you can remove this section of hose. Take that section of hose out. And now you want to go over here and you want to take the belt out. You need a 3/8 ratchet, nice long ratchet. Make sure you draw the routing of the belt, but the routing is right there so you don't have to draw it. So now you can just put your 3/8 ratchet on in the hole, which is right here. Put it in there, push it in, remove it off one of the pulleys, and fully take the belt out. Next, you want to remove the air cleaner, top piece and the air cleaner and the tube, and you want to take out that washer tank. So you got your 3 bolts holding this cover on with a Phillips head. Just stupid. They always rust in there and you can't get them out. So once you get them all off and get that out, now you need to remove this tube and get it out of the way. Okay, good time to put a new air filter in there if you need one. So you get this up out of the way, you can just push it up out of the way. Now you need to remove your washer bottle, because we need to get access behind the power steering pump. Okay, so that's got a couple 13s and got some lines and hoses down here and the connectors for the pump motors, 2 pump motors. Okay, you're probably going to lose a lot of it, probably most of it. So get a pan to let it drain into a clean one so you can reuse it if your pan's clean. Okay, let's get that done then. Okay, I pulled the section out that I cut. And you want to make a note that the line in the front of the vehicle is the pressure line. And the one behind it, closest to the engine, is the return. Okay, write that down too. All right, there's the washer tank. It's got a 13mm nut right there. And then there's one down below, right there. That'll be a bolt. And you got a wire harness that clips on right here. And then you got these lines clip on to the side of the tank up on top. There's a little notch for them, so get them off of there. So just put it on top. Filter's up there, so it's not really leaking anything. So far so good, it's all right there. So now we got access to our power steering pump. Okay, the pump belts off. So the pump's got a couple bolts, 3 bolts probably. It goes through the pulley, you can get to them. There's 13mm heads, you can remove those. And you can undo this wire harness right here. And go from there. Got the 3 bolts off the pump. Make sure you put them aside. All right. Line off the back, the little connector, okay. Now it's loose, all right? So if you want, you can go ahead and undo your lines from here. You'll have to get a light down in there and you have to see what's going on. So you got this one here, you got the clamp, and then you got your pressure line going right here to the bottom of the pump. And I have to let you know what size that is. Okay, there it all is down there. Undo that return line on a little plastic clip right here on the frame. Now we gotta go underneath and get those off the front of the frame and to the cooler. We're gonna raise it up. And then you wanna remove, pretty sure the driver's side tire, so beware. Okay, I gotta take the washer solvent tank off of there because it's siphoning out through the stinking washer nozzles all over the, dripping on me down below. So stuff a little hose and loop it. And make sure you take your lines out of these little clips here. You got a little shield, remove that little shield, 2 13s. Okay, there's a 10. Pretty sure it's a 10. Right up here on top. You gotta get up here on top to get to it. A little ratchet. And then you got your 2 lines going to the cooler with little clamps, remove them. And then you can pull your hoses out of there. Okay. Remember, the outside one, front and to the front, is the pressure line. Okay, here's the hoses. This is the one that's left over from the going to the gearbox. You want to save this clamp if you can, but don't throw that away. Next, you want to go over inside here. You want to see where the line goes into the rack. And you want to spray it down the best you can. Let it penetrate that little goofy bolt and the lines. And you might want to remove that bottom shield also at the 13s. There's 4 of them, just so you can get an eyeball in there and possibly access. Tight fit. Now here we are inside the wheel well. There's the 2 lines, and in the middle of them is a 8mm bolt. Need to get that one out. Okay, it's holding a little retainer that holds the lines in. So get your best 8mm and a 1/4 inch and go through over here with a little extension and break that bolt loose, and make sure you're on it square so you don't strip it off, because you don't want to be having to pull that rack out. Okay, this is how it is, how it looks going into the rack. You remove the 10, not the 10, the 8mm. Get that out of there, do not lose it. Get yourself a long pry bar and tap on these lines equally. What you're doing is you're tapping it out of the rack, and there's seals in the rack that go around this. What you're doing is you're pulling them out. It pops out, and you can pull this whole piece up out of there, okay? And then because we cut it, make it shorter, it's easier to get out. Do not bust the plastic little clip right here. We need that to help hold them together. And also, this line just slides in there. A lot easier to look at the new one. This is kind of rusted. Okay. So you get these together, you push it down inside there, make sure it's together, and this is on the inside so it's not in the way of the bolt. Okay, put your lines in there, get them together, put your little clip in there, put a little seal glide on the line there. Zip tie them together loosely, just to keep them intact together, so they don't sprawl all over the place and you lose control of them. Just don't do them real tight, just do them loosely so you can actually move them around and be able to spread them apart. Okay, so now we got that ready. You need to go inside down below and wipe it a little bit, clean it up. They come with new seals. These are the goofiest things I've ever seen. They are a real pain in the ass. You pop the old ones out and you push these in there. It's not that easy because you cannot get access to get inside there. I wouldn't replace them unless you absolutely had to. If you want to replace them, that's up to you. But you're going to regret it. I want to replace them with the racks out. Okay? So we're going to fish our line down inside there and get started. Okay. Tuck this section of the line underneath the lower hose and underneath this other wire harness. Okay? If you want, you can undo the clip from the wire harness for that little one on right here. It's right underneath here. That'll give you a little bit more room, and then you can push that line underneath that little harness. And then next you need to tuck these underneath both of these right there. Goes underneath there. It goes back there. Okay, those are underneath that. Go down underneath this harness, in between the harness and the frame. On the other side of the brake lines, goes over here. Alright? Everything's getting a little blurry. Okay, I got it in there. I get it close, and I get some long needle nose, and I get up on it. I get the top one started, and then I grab hold of the bottom one, and I pull it and align it, and I push it that way a little bit. You get it in the hole. You got it in the hole, and then I pry it on that to push them in, and I got them in. Don't be pushing too hard. and make sure you get them lined up, and then they'll push right in. If you gotta force them really hard, then something's not right. They went right in. So now I can get my bolt in there and tighten it up. Okay, I stuck my bolt in there with my long needle nose, put my extension, my 1/4" ratchet on there, and screwed it in there and snugged it up. So now we're done with that part. Now all you need to do is go underneath and get these lines routed up. On this bracket, you bend these little tabs up. Some needle, side cuts, bend them up. Now you can open it up, take it apart, and put it on your new lines. You get these clamps off the hoses, heat them up with a propane torch, and that will break the bond on it, so you can take them off. Don't put them on the new hose until they're cooled off. Okay, put your lines on, clamps on. Put this clamp on in the middle. Having a hard time getting you got it started, but you're having a hard time tightening it up. You can get to it from up on top with a long extension and a swivel. Get your lines up here, put that one in the little plastic. Now we're ready to lower it down and do stuff on top. Now you can put your shield back there. If you took this one off, put that one back on too. Okay, make sure you put a new O-ring on your line. Start your line onto your pump. Snug it up, leave it loose though, and put your return line on with your clamp. And then once you got that done, then you can put your bolts in your pump and tighten your pump bolts up, and then come back to the back and tighten up your line with your line wrench. Okay, pump is mounted, my line is tightened. Alright, got my little clip fastened back up. Now it's time for your washer bottle. You get your lines and the little areas where it clips into it. Washer tank installed, got your 2 nuts on it. Got your lines hooked up and your wires connected to the pumps. Put your air filter back together and put your cover back on. Alright, put that big line holder on there. Put the 10mm bolt back into the side of the frame. If you got any hose clamps, you can put them on there. I got one on there. And I hooked up all my wire harnesses and put them in their little fasteners. Remember, there's a gasket on there, so don't forget. And everything's ready to go for my battery tray. Battery tray, battery, cables, brace, fuse cover. Now all you gotta do is put some power steering fluid in it. Okay, got your engine running, power steering works, no leaks. Top off your fluid where it's supposed to be after it sits and cools down a little bit. And then that's it. That's how you do your power steering lines. Other than that, that's it. If I helped you out doing these power steering lines, maybe you can help me out by subscribing to me. If you already did, I appreciate it. And I want to thank you.